Hi guys, Danita500, welcome. I am quickly just waiting for the laptop. I apologize for the uh, what's the word? I'm gonna get it in a minute, just eventually, I'm gonna get it eventually. Oh bloody hell. Sorry, there's a bug. Right, so we're not in landscape, we're in portrait mode. Come on, focus laptop. The laptop is very, very slow today. We're in portrait mode, and I apologize for that. But we're reading from a site. We'll just quickly check my sound. My laptop is slow today. I don't know why, but it's a pain in the ass today. Okay, sound is good. I'm gonna mute stream because we actually have background music for today. I'm gonna go to that quickly. Right. So what I wanted to say, we're in portrait mode today because I'm reading from a site that has ads, and I have two web browsers. I have this Opera Mini and my normal, that's my photos, my normal browser, and ads both ways. So as soon as I turn the screen, I can barely see anything. Like, add from the bottom, this one I can remove, but sometimes you can't. And add from the top. What the hell? So we're going for Opera Mini just because there's an ad blocker, which I'm very, very grateful for. So today's music is 1 hour of royalty-free horror music from, give me a minute, I'm sorry, the laptop is on vacation because currently it does not want to do anything. Right. The music is 1 hour of royalty-free horror music from Mark van der Meulen. I did not listen the entire track through, but what I did listen was the beginning, and it sounds good. So in the description is written the following. Give me a minute. This is a collection of royalty-free creepy horror music. These tracks can be used in your projects for free. You can download high-quality versions of these tracks on Bandcamp, almost all of them for free, which I'm very, very grateful for. And then they have you can also buy their music to help them. You can also download the entire album, including these and a few other dark tracks for €5. I think the E with the 2 stripes through is euros. Don't attack me for that. I don't work with that type of money. which goes a long way in helping me to keep creating these hashtag royalty free tracks. And then they have a Spotify as well. It's cool. I will. Sorry, is there somebody in chat? I'm sorry, I'm not checking at all. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so sorry, guys. The laptop is currently on my YouTube open. I'm gonna keep chat open there for a minute. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope you're ready for some scary, spooky stories. Sorry, let me just sort out the music. So yeah, I will link all of this in my YouTube description once I upload to YouTube. Let's start by playing the music and just checking the sound of it. I'm gonna keep it on 20. You guys can tell me if I have to turn it up or not. But I think 20 should be fine. That was weird. Alice, your message pops up on the laptop in green and in my chat on the phone in, what's that, blue? That's interesting. Right. I don't know where the hell I should put the screen. What did I do? Sorry. Okay. I just closed Opera. Wow. How are you guys doing? Okay, I turned the sound up just a bit. I'm good, just waking up. Did she sleep well? There we go. Okay. So the plan for today is, yes, that's okay, guys. Good. I am so glad to hear that. Plan for today is we're gonna go. The site for the creepypastas has the random story option, and we're gonna go read any random story that pops up when we press it. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's scary, it's scary. If it's not, it's not. I think most stories on the creepypasta website is probably creepy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And when I do these, I do have my Telegram open. I am going to send everything there while we're busy as well. Right, let's start with our first creepy story. I'm so glad that this ad blocker blocks everything. What's happening here? So, Alice, I'm gonna read. Really, the ad blocker didn't. I'm gonna read Creepypasta Stories. It's many people are starting to celebrate Halloween today. It's Halloween for me tomorrow, but I do want to start with this the creepiness today and read these stories. Okay, let's hope the ads aren't a problem. Right, I can't see when I'm in the stories. Okay, I hope you will have some fun. Thank you. I hope so too. I can't see when I'm in the stories who writes these stories, which is a shame. Yeah, nothing. Can't see who writes them. That's unfortunate. Okay, are you guys ready to begin? Stories' name is Logical Explanations. I awoke that night to echo my dog, barking up a storm. He was perched on the edge of my bed, facing the door and yapping away like crazy. I scratched him behind the ear to get him to calm down and guided him to his usual spot on my bed. In hindsight, his barking was the first warning. My brain, overactive as it is, was curious as to why he was behaving so oddly. Echo rarely barked at anything, so it was unlikely he was barking at nothing. Perhaps there is a skunk in the yard, I thought to myself. Seeing as how I was half asleep at the time, that explanation seemed perfectly logical. Had I been more aware, I would have realized that any skunks in the neighborhood would be weeks into their hibernation this time of year. Even if they weren't, the vicious snowstorm outside would deter them from wandering about. I attempted to fall asleep after that, and how I wish that I did. Unfortunately, due to my habit of sleeping with my mouth open, I was becoming increasingly aware of how thirsty I was. I tried to stay in the warmth of my bed for as long as possible, but it wasn't long before my tongue felt like sandpaper. It was clear to me that I wouldn't be able to sleep without a glass of water. I told Echo to stay and slipped into my moccasins? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. There outside my nest of blankets, you did, yay, thank you. There outside my nest of blankets was freezing, so I put on my house coat as well. Lamb wool boots. Fascinating. We just call them slippers. Interesting. Right, where was I? Oh yeah. When I left my bedroom, I noticed that the basement television was showing static. Mother probably forgot to turn it off after watching her murder mysteries, I thought. The TV is playing static because of the storm outside. It's just messing with our cable. Another logical explanation, which would be far less logical if I were fully awake. My mother, no matter how tired she was, would never leave the television on. She's far too meticulous to do something like that. In my sleepy brain, however, it made perfect sense. I couldn't find the TV remote, as the room was dark and I didn't want to accidentally blind myself by turning on the lights, so I left the TV on. I should have turned back, crawled back into bed and waited for morning. I climbed the stairs to the landing, which was which was which was bathed in an orange glow, cast by the streetlights reflecting off the clouds above. From up here, I could hear the wind battering itself against the house's walls. I was starting to wake up a little bit. I noticed that the deadbolt on the door was unlocked. That was my final warning. My parents felt that it wasn't necessary. What with the storm and all, the seeds of doubt began to form in my mind. I knew that wasn't the case. Some new neighbors have been suspected of breaking into people's houses and stealing their liquor. My parents, being collectors of fine wines, have made it a habit to lock the deadbolt every night for the past few months, even when the act was completely pointless. My conscious brain was starting to wake up, starting to notice these things. A feeling of uneasiness began to pull in my gut. Still, after locking the deadbolt, I continued to the kitchen. Dude, I'd be running from now. If something like that happens, I'd start running. From the kitchen, I had a clear view of the living room, and while I filled an empty glass with water from the sink, I not only noticed that the television up here was also showing static, but that there was a figure seated on the couch. Don't worry, I thought nervously. That's just Dad. He's been sleepwalking again. This time, I was fully aware of the flaws in this logical explanation. The fact that the figure on the couch was bald and plump, while my father is lean and his hair is only beginning to thin. The fact that my father had been taking medication to prevent his sleepwalking. The fact that I could hear him snoring from my parents' bedroom. I tried to disregard these thoughts, to push them to the back of my mind like I had done before. This time, it didn't work. I gently set my glass on the kitchen counter. My hands were cold and clammy, shaking in terror. My heart rate was increasing and my breathing was rapid. Even in the confusion of the moment, I knew that this wasn't just some regular burglar. I doubted that the thing on the couch was even human. I reached for the phone to call 911, only to find out that I couldn't get any service due to the storm. Frustrated and confused, I started randomly pushing buttons on the keypad. That's when I heard the thing move. The sound wasn't loud, but it was enough to make my blood run cold and send clammy sweat down my back. It was the sound of bones popping. Not just a few either. It sounded like an entire room full of people cracking their necks, backs, and knuckles all at once. I turned from the useless phone to look at the creature for the first time. It was now standing, facing me, and illuminated by the orange glow from the living room's window. It stood about 6 feet tall, was completely naked, and was rather plump. Its skin was a sallow? Yeah. Its skin was a sallow grayish color and looked almost slimy. Ew. The creature's arms dangled as if they were boneless, and at the end of each was a gnarled mess of fingers. The worst part about the creature, however, was its face. The thing had no nose, only 2 slits where its nostrils would be. Its eyes were hollow, white orbs that seemed too large for the rest of its face. As for its mouth, well, it didn't really have one. It looked as if its entire lower jaw had been knocked clean off the rest of its face, leaving a swollen pink tongue hanging around its neck. Against its neck, sorry. The creature started walking towards me, making that awful. Sorry, let me just quickly make the laptop a little bit softer. Just give me a minute. I'm really sorry, but this type of music is not working. Come on. Thank you. It's fine. As soon as the laptop works with me, and then everything will be fine. Oh bloody hell. Never mind, I give up. It will work with me eventually. Where was I? Right, the tongue against his neck. Lurk worked around, finally able to catch the stream. There, welcome. I am glad you are here. There we go. Enjoy your lurk. I am just busy telling spooky stories and falling over my tongue. Again, 6 minutes. There we go. The creature started walking towards me, making that awful sound with each step. It looked like it was trying to speak to me, but without its jaw, the tongue could only wriggle around helplessly as sinister moans escaped its throat. I did what anybody else would do in that situation. I ran like hell. When I got to the landing, I closed the door between the landing and the first floor. I had 3 options. I could surrender myself to the creature, I could run downstairs, which would eventually lead to a dead end, or I could run outside and face one of the worst blizzards of the decade. None of my choices were desirable, but I knew that I'd be dead anyway if I kept standing there. I didn't get much time to choose though, as the door between me and the creature swung open, revealing that thing in all its grotesque glory. It began to descend the stairs toward me. I made my decision, and as stupid as it was, I wouldn't be alive if I hadn't done it. I unlocked the deadbolt and ran outside. For the first few seconds, I felt absolutely nothing save for the adrenaline and fear surging through me. Looking back at the house as I ran, I swear I could see the creature looking at me through the kitchen window. It looked almost happy. By the time my house faded into the blizzard, the cold was starting to set in. Wearing only pajamas, slippers and a housecoat, it wasn't hard to see why. I continued running in fear that the thing would chase me, but I was starting to go numb. By the time I reached the highway, I couldn't feel my fingers. By the time I noticed the approaching headlights, I couldn't feel my toes. By the time the vehicle had stopped in front of me, everything was starting to go black. I woke several hours later to the sound of a machine beeping. At first, I thought the whole thing was a nightmare, that I was back in my bed and that my alarm clock was telling me to wake up and go to school. I began to regain consciousness and realized that I was no longer wearing my pajamas. Rather, I was wearing a hospital gown. There was a nurse standing above me, checking my vitals. Apparently, a tow truck driver had found me on his way to a job. He did what anyone else would do if they found a teenager running like hell in the middle of a snowstorm at midnight and rushed me to the nearby hospital. I was admitted to the ER with severe frostbite and a moderate case of hypothermia. My parents were contacted immediately, and at first it seemed like I was going to go back home again. That is, until the doctors asked why I was outside in my pajamas in the first place. I told them the story, as I couldn't think of any excuse that sounded less crazy. As one might expect, I was shipped off to the psych ward. That is where I'm typing this now. See, doctors can come up with any number of logical explanations. They can tell me that I was hallucinating, that I was having a nightmare, that I was overstressed. With a medical degree, one can explain any unnatural phenomena with enough pills and prescriptions. But just because an explanation is logical doesn't mean that it's true. At first, I believed what they were saying. At first, it all made sense. But something had happened later in the day that changed that. I was reading a book in my bed, started to come to terms with what happened when the TV in my room flickered to life. It was showing static. Outside the window, I could a grey figure outside the hospital. Even though I was on the fourth floor, I could tell that it was looking directly at me. That was cool. Creepy as heck, but cool. I am gonna link all of these, so just give me a minute. Cool, alright, thank you. Even though I fell like over my tongue a billion times. Sorry, let me just copy that and put it there. This is how we're gonna do it. But that was very, very, very cool. Right, random story. Go away, ad. Love how you are enjoying this. Thank you. Usually I'm not one really for the creepy stuff, but it's October, so I'm just gonna take a sip of my Coke. I have to admit, this is making me really thirsty. Sorry. Random story that is not logical explanations. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go search. Yep, we are gonna have to go search for stories. We could read Bend Round. Anybody up for... Please go away. Anybody up for that? Sure. Let's go. Read now. Okay. This one seems to be longer, but we'll see how it goes as soon as I can get rid of the ads. Okay. Sorry, I have to go. Okay, no worries. Take care, Alice. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. I hope you have a lovely day or evening. I don't know what time it is there. Right, so this one might take a while, but we'll see how it goes. Thanks for the nice stream. Have fun. Thank you. I will definitely. Okay. Midnight. Wow. Yeah, that's late. Well then, if that's the case, I hope you sleep well. Okay. Finally, after a long day, you get a moment to yourself. Oh, is this second person? Interesting. You take a deep breath, sigh out the way of the day's pressures, and collapse onto a beanbag, lifting the controller to load up a game and enjoy some much needed escapism. This time, however, escape might not be so easy. This time you have loaded up an old retro game that you bought from a garage sale. A lesser known offshoot from a well-known game franchise that you've always had a soft spot for. Unfortunately though, you are clearly not the only person who had affection for this game, or even the only one exploring the game's pixelated reality. Because on the game's leaderboard, another name, the name of the game's previous owner, flashes brilliantly. This previous owner has left his mark on the game, but has not necessarily left. As you continue with the gameplay, glitches begin to appear. Operations and scenarios that shouldn't be possible begin to unfold, and increasingly you get the feeling that although it is in your hands on the control, it is your hands on the controller, it is you who is being controlled. Suddenly the screen changes. An oddly discordant. Okay, sorry. An oddly discordant tune, warped by the slow drag of playing backwards rings out from the speaker, and the face, at once familiar and somehow changed, appears on the screen. As long crimson streaks of fresh blood drip from the eye sockets of the face. Staring forever outward seems to see without seeing, staring at you, through you, into you. It is this point that you begin to realize you shouldn't have done that. Oh, it's actually a table of contents. Every synopsis at a glance. That's why it's so long. Okay. Oh, we're just gonna read everything. It's a 60 something minutes, but I understand now why it said that. Like, okay. If we have to, I'll just plug my phone in at the end of the day. Overview and synopsis at a glance. As genuinely unnerving as it was, groundbreaking, the creepypasta story of Ben. I don't think I need to read that though. Let me just check this table of contents. Appearance and origin. History. Okay, so it's from 3. It is the story. Okay. I am guessing the X is probably name insert. What's your thought on that? It's possible. Talking to you. Okay, we go for Danita500. My inflatable house got a puncture yesterday. Now I'm living in a flat. Oh goodness. That is an issue. Inflatable? Please explain. Right, so let's begin. I will check chat in between. Ben Drowned Creepypasta. Ben Drowned Part 1, Day 4. So it seems like we have a bit of a time skip over here. He's drinking at work, I think. There, don't drink at work. Okay, Danita500, I need your help with this. This is not copy pasta. Copy pasta. I'm sorry. The Jack. Ah. That's why I don't get it. So that's why I don't get it. Now I feel stupid. Okay, where was I? Sorry, my brain keeps... Right, copy pasta, sorry. This is not copy pasta. Copy pasta. This is a long read, but I feel like my safety or well-being could very well depend on this. This is video game related. Specifically, Majora's Mask. And this is the creepiest shit that has ever happened to me in my entire life. It really is speaking to me. Having said that, I recently moved into my dorm room starting as a sophomore. That is sophomore, yes. I have never seen the word sophomore in my life. Heard it, never seen it. Thank you. Starting as a sophomore in college, and a friend of mine gave me his old Nintendo 64 to play. I was stoked. Damn, this thing must be old if it used something like stoked. I was stoked, to say the least. I could finally play all of those old games of my youth that I hadn't touched in at least a decade. His Nintendo 64 came with one yellow controller and a rather shoddy copy of Super Smash Bros. And while beggars can't be choosers, needless to say, it didn't take long until I became bored of beating up level 9 is CPUs. That weekend, I decided to drive around a few neighborhoods, about 20 minutes or so off campus, hitting up the local garage sales, hoping to score on some good deals from ignorant parents. I ended up picking up a copy of Pokemon Stadium, GoldenEye. Fuck yeah! F-Zero and 2 other controllers for $2. Why? Why does my tongue keep doing that? I'm supposed to be spooky reading over here and my tongue just doesn't allow it. Okay. Satisfied, I began to drive out of the neighborhood when one last house caught my attention. I still have no idea why it did. There were no cars there and only one table was set up with random junk on it. But something sort of drew me there. Sorry, the laptop seems to... There we go. Don't worry about it, you're doing fine. I'm glad you think so. Well, as long as you guys enjoy it, I'm happy. Even if I fall over my tongue a billion times. I usually trust my gut on these things, so I got out of the car and I was greeted by an old man. His outward appearance was, for lack of a better word, displeasing. It was odd, if you ask me to tell you why I thought he was displeasing. I couldn't really pinpoint anything. There was just something about him that put me on edge. I can't explain it. All I can tell you is that if it wasn't in the middle of the afternoon and there were other people within shouting distance, I would not have even thought of approaching this man. Even if there were other people like at shouting distance, I would not have approached somebody. If my gut was like, nah, let's not. Like, if you get that feeling of there's something wrong with this person, you don't. I agree, yeah. He flashed a crooked smile at me and asked what I was looking for, and immediately I noticed that he must be blind in one of his eyes. His right eye had that glazed over look about it. I forced myself to look to his left eye instead, trying not to offend, and asked him if he had any old video games. I was already wondering how I could politely excuse myself from the situation when he would tell me he had no idea what a video game was. But to my surprise, he said that he had a few ones in an old box. He assured me he'd be back in a jiffy, and turned to head back into the garage. As I watched him hobble away, I couldn't help but notice what he was selling on his table. Littered across this table were rather peculiar paintings, various artworks that looked like ink blots that a psychiatrist might show you. Curious, I looked through them. It was obvious why no one was visiting this guy's garage sale. These weren't exactly aesthetically pleasing. As I came to the last one, for some reason it looked almost like Majora's Mask. Sorry? The same heart-shaped body with little spikes protruding outward. Initially, I just thought that since I was secretly hoping to find that game at these garage sales, some Freudian bullshit was projecting itself into the ink blots. But given the events that happened afterward, I'm not so sure now. I should have asked the man about it. I wish I would have asked the man about it. After staring at the Majora-shaped blot, I looked up and the old man was suddenly there again, arms length in front of me, smiling at me. I'll admit I jumped out of reflex and I laughed nervously as he handed me a Nintendo 64 cartridge. It was the standard grey color, except that someone had written Majora on it in black permanent marker. I got butterflies in my stomach as I realized what a coincidence this was, and asked him how much he wanted for it. I would really have asked more questions. The old man smiled at me and told me that I could have it for free. For free! Yeah, then I'd start asking questions for free. Oh, thank you. Oh, then fart. And if anybody looks at you weirdly, just smile. Where was I? The old man smiled at me and told me that I could have it for free. That it used to belong to a kid who was about my age that didn't live here anymore. There was something weird about how the man phrased that, but I didn't really pay any attention to it then. I was too caught up in not only finding this guy, but getting it for free. I would really ask questions. I reminded myself to be a bit skeptical since this looked like a pretty shady cartridge and there's no guarantee it would work. But then the optimist inside me interjected that maybe it was some kind of beta version or pirated version of the game, and that was all I needed to be back on cloud 9. Ish. I thanked the man, and the man smiled at me and wished me well, saying, "Goodbye, Dan." At least that's what it sounded like to me. All the way in the car ride home, I had a nagging doubt that the man had said something else. My fears were confirmed when I booted up the game. To my surprise, it worked just fine. And there was one safe file named simply Ben. "Goodbye, Ben," he was saying. "Goodbye, Ben." I feel bad for the man. Obviously a grandparent and obviously going senile, and I, for some reason or another, reminded him of his grandson, Ben. Out of curiosity, I looked at the safe file, eyeballing it. I could tell that he was pretty far in the game. He had almost all of the masks and a quarter remains of the bosses. Three quarters. I noticed that he had used an owl statue to save his game. He was on day 3 and by the stone tower temple with hardly an hour left before the moon would crash. I remember thinking that it was a shame that he had come so close to beating the game, but he never finished it. I made a new file named Link out of tradition and started the game, ready to relive my childhood. For such a shady looking game cartridge, I was impressed at how smoothly it ran. Literally just like a retail copy of the game, save for a few minor hiccups here and there, like textures being where they shouldn't be, random flashes or cutscenes at odd intervals, but nothing too bad. However, The only thing that was a little unnerving was that at times the NPCs would call me Link, and at other times they would call me Ben. I figured it was just a bug, a fluke in the programming causing our files to get mixed up or something. It did kind of creep me out though after a while, and it was around after I had beaten the Woodfall Temple that I regrettably went into the save files and deleted Ben. I had intended to preserve the file just out of respect of the game's original owner. It's not like I needed two files anyway. Hoping that would solve the problem. It did, and it didn't. Now NPCs wouldn't call me anything, where my name should be in the dialogue. There was just a blank space. My save file name was still called Link though. Frustrated, and with homework to do, I put the game down for a day. I started playing the game again last night, getting the lens of truth and working my way towards completing the Snowhead Temple. Now, some of you more hardcore Majora Mask players know about the 4th day glitch. Eh? For those who don't, you can Google it. But the gist of it is that right at the clock, as the clock is about to hit 12 on the final day, you talk to the astronomer and look through the telescope. If you time it right, the countdown disappears, and you essentially have another day to finish whatever you were doing. Is that true? I don't know this. Where am I? Sorry, I'm waiting for the laptop to eventually figure out where I got. There we go. I've no idea, never played. Neither have I, no. That's interesting. Deciding to do the glitch to try and finish the Snowhead Temple, I happened to get it right on the first try, and the time counter at the bottom disappeared. However, when I pressed B to exit the telescope, instead of being greeted by the astronomer, I found myself in the Majora boss fight room at the end of the game, the trippy boxed-in arena. Staring at Skull Kid hovering above me. Interesting. There was no sound, just him floating in the air above me, and the background music, which was regular for the area, but still creepy. Immediately, my palms began to sweat. This was definitely not normal. Sorry, my laptop. There we go. Skull Kid never appeared here. I tried moving around the area, and no matter where I went, Skull Kid would always be facing me, looking at me, not saying anything. Nothing would happen though, and this kept up for around 60 seconds. I thought the game had bugged or something, but I was beginning to doubt that very much. I was about to reach for the reset button when text appeared on my screen. You're not sure why, but you apparently had a reservation. I instantly recognized that text. You get that message when you get the room key from Anju at the Stockpot Inn. But why was it playing here? I refused to entertain the notion that it was almost as if the game was trying to communicate with me. I started navigate the room again, testing to see if that was some sort of trigger that enabled me to interact with something here. But I realized how stupid I was. To even think that someone could reprogram the game like this was absurd. Sure enough, 15 seconds later, another message appeared on the screen. And again, like the first one, it was already a pre-existing phrase. Go to the lair of the temple's boss. Yes, no. I paused for a second. My laptop is buffering. Sorry, let me just quickly see what it is. I had difficulty with my laptop when I turned it on tonight as well. So yeah. Okay, I think it's good now. We're just waiting for chat to return. And it froze again. Wow. I hate this. I'm gonna read from here. It's funny this, eh? Yeah, no, it's my laptop that's the issue. It keeps freezing, and now it's doing it at a terrible time. Okay, it will focus eventually again, probably, hopefully. Until then, we are without music. Sorry, just checking for chat. We don't need music. That's good. Because right now, music has abandoned us. Well, my laptop has abandoned us. Where was I? Oh, there. I paused for a second. There we go. I paused for a second, contemplating what I should press and how the game would react. When I realized that I couldn't select no, taking a deep breath, I pressed yes, and the screen faded to white, with the words, "Dawn of a New Day," with the subtext, I'm sorry. Are those eyes, elves? Beneath it. Lol, it's fine. Sorry. It's cracked me up. Where I was ported to filled me with the most intense sense of dread and impending fear I had ever experienced. I felt here was a feeling that I didn't even knew existed. It was such a twisted, powerful presence that seemed to wash over me. I appeared in some kind of weird Twilight Zone version of Clock Tower. I walked out of the clock tower, as you normally do when you start from day one, only to find that all of the inhabitants were gone. Usually with the fourth day glitch you can still find the guards and the dog that runs around outside the tower. This time they were all gone. What replaced them was the ominous feeling that there was something out there, in the same area as me, and that is and that it and that it was watching me. I had 4 hearts to my name and the hero's bow, but at this point I wasn't even considered for my avatar. I felt that I personally was in some kind of danger. I think you are. Sorry, my laptop is being a pain. If it does not work, we'll just continue without it. Where was I? Some kind of net. Okay. Perhaps the most chilling thing was the music. It was a song of healing, ripped straight from the game itself, but played in reverse. The music would get louder, building up so as if you should expect something to pop out at you. But nothing ever did, and a constant loop began to wear on my mental state. Every now and then I would hear the faint laugh of the happy masked salesman in the background, just quiet enough so that I wasn't sure if I just hearing things, but just loud enough to keep me determined to find him. I looked in all 4 zones of Clock Tower, only to find nothing, no one. Textures were missing. West Clock Tower had me walking on air. The entire area felt broken, hopelessly broken. As the reverse song of healing repeated for what must have been the 50th time, I just remember standing in the middle of South Clock Town, realizing that I had never felt so alone in a video game before. As I walked through the ghost town, I don't know whether it was the combination of the out of place textures and the atmosphere and the haunting melody of the once peaceful and soothing song being butchered and distorted. But I was literally on the verge of tears and I had no idea why. I hardly ever cry. Something had gripped me here, and this powerful sense of depression that was both foreign and crippling. I tried leaving Clocktown, and every time I attempted to zone out, the screen would fade to black and I would just zone into another part of Clocktown. I tried playing my ocarina. Yeah, I tried playing my ocarina. I wanted to escape, and I did not want to be here. But every time I played of the Song of Time, yeah. But every time I played the Song of Time or Song of Soaring, it would only say your notes echo far, but nothing happens. I guess he forgot there's an off button. Yep. The fact that this person is not trying to turn the bloody game off. Sorry, I was just taking a sip of my drink and trying to fix the laptop yet again. But nothing. I'm letting the thing reload. Gonna see if that that fixes anything. But currently it's a pain. I think I'm gonna force shut down my laptop and then turn it back on. Give me a minute. And then we're just not gonna listen to music. I think that's gonna be the best thing we can do now. Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the best thing we can do now. Is to just force shut down this thing. Alright, I'm gonna read and then I'm just waiting for the laptop to turn on again. By this point, it was obvious the game didn't want me to leave. But I had no idea why it was keeping me here. In my opinion, it's not keeping you there, it's not holding you, it's not like you can leave, turn it off. And why are you just trying to stay there? I didn't want to go inside the buildings. I felt that I would be too vulnerable there to whatever I was terrified of. I don't know why, but I came up with the idea that maybe if I drowned myself at the laundry pool, I could spawn somewhere else and leave this place. I'm gonna read that now. Also, I have to go at 10 a.m., which is about 45 minutes. 100%. I really, really appreciate you being here. I'm just gonna quickly put the password back in for the laptop. But yeah, I really, really appreciate you being here. There we go. No worries, I enjoy your streams. That makes my day. Like, that's all I want. I just want everybody to enjoy my streams. And yeah, I really, really appreciate it. As I zoned in and ran towards the pool, that's when it happened. Link grabbed his head, and the screen flashed for a brief moment of the happy masked salesman smiling at me. Not Link. Me with Skull Kid's scream playing in the background, and when the screen returned, I was staring at the Link statue from playing the song of Elegy, of Emptiness. I screamed as the thing just stared back at me with that haunting facial expression. I turned around and ran out and back into South Clocktown, sorry. And to my horror, the fucking statue followed me. Followed me. And the only way I can compare this is like the weeping angels from Doctor Who. And now I really wish I had watched anything of Doctor Who to know what the hell it's saying. Damn it! I don't know it. Every so often, at random intervals, the animation would play of the statue appearing behind me. It was like the thing was chasing me. Or, I don't even want to fucking say it, haunting me. Weeping angels are statues that can move, but only when you're not looking at them. Ooh. That's creepy, but fascinating. Terrifying. I would run. I would run backwards. Keep looking at it. Like they can move even when you blink. Like SCPs. It's one of the SCPs that do the same thing. It stands still when you look at it, but if you blink or look away, it moves and then kills you. But yeah, that's interesting. By this point, I was on the verge of hysterics, but not even once did the thought of turning off the console occur to me. I don't know why. I was so wrapped up in it. The terror felt all so real. Yeah, just press the off button. I tried to shake the statue, but it would literally appear right behind me every single time. Link started to begin to make weird animations I had never even seen him do before. He would flail his arms around or spasm randomly, and the screen would cut to the happy masked salesman smiling again. For a brief moment, before I was face to face with the fucking statue again. The story swears so bloody much. I ended up running into the Swordsmaster dojo and ran to the back. I don't know why, but in my panic, I just wanted some kind of assurance that I'm not alone here. To my dismay, I found no one. But as I turned to leave, the statue cornered me in the cubby? Cornered me in the cubby in the back. I tried attacking the statue with my sword, but to no avail. Confused and backed into a corner, I just stared at the statue, waiting for it to kill me. Suddenly, the screen flashed again to the happy masked salesman, and Link turned to face my screen, standing upright, mirroring the statue, looking at me along with his copy, literally staring at me. Whatever was left of the fourth wall was completely shattered while I ran out of the dojo terrified. Suddenly the game warped me to the underground tunnel, and the reverse song of healing queued up again as I was given a brief moment of the rest of wait of rest before the statue started appearing behind me again, this time aggressively. I could only take a few steps before it would summon behind me again. I hurriedly made my way out of the tunnel and appeared in Southern Clock Town. As I ran aimlessly in a sheer panic, suddenly a redhead screamed and the screen faded to black as dawn of a new day and I sorry appeared again. The laptop is on, sorry, just give me a minute. I just want to be able to see chat again without having to actually open chat. Okay, where was I? Yeah, appeared again. The screen faded in, and I was standing on top of Clock Tower. Sorry, I have the hiccups. There we go. On top of Clock Tower, with Skull Kid hovering over me again, silent. I looked up, and the moon was back, looming just meters above my head. But the Skull Kid just stared at me hauntingly with that fucking mask. A new song was playing. The Stone Tower Temple theme played in reverse. In some sort of desperate attempt, I equipped my bow and fired off a shot at the Skull Kid, and it actually hit him. And he played an animation of him reeling back. I fired again, and on the third arrow, a text box appeared saying, "That won't do you any good, hee hee." And I was picked off the ground, levitated upwards on my back, and then Link screamed as he burst into flames, instantly killing him. Goodness. I jumped when this happened. I had never seen this move used by anyone in the game, and Skull Kid himself didn't have any moves. As the death scream played, my lifeless body still burning, the Skull Kid laughed, and the screen faded to black, only to have me reappear in the same place. I decided to charge him, but the same thing happened. Link's body was lifted off the ground by some unknown force, and he immediately burst into flames again, killing him. This time, during the death screen, the faint sounds of the reverse song of healing could be heard. On my third and final try, I noticed that there was no music playing this time, that all there was eerie silence. I remember that in the original encounter with the Skull Kid, you were supposed to use the ocarina to either travel back in time or summon the giant. I attempted to play the Song of Time, but before I could hit the last note, Link's body once again horrifically exploded into flames and he died. As the death scream neared its end, it began to chug, as if the cartridge was trying to process a lot of something. When the screen came to, it was the same, right? It was the same scene as the first 3 times, except this time Link was lying on the ground, dead, in a position I had never seen in the game before. His head tilted towards the camera, with the Skull Kid floating above him. I couldn't move. I couldn't press any buttons. All I could do is just stare at Link's dead body. After around 30 minutes of this, after around 30 seconds of this, the game simply fades out with the message, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" Before kicking you out of it to the title screen. Upon getting back to the title screen and starting again. And starting again? Again? If all of this weird stuff was happening and at this point he deserves it. Yes, definitely. Like starting again, all of this weird stuff has happened. You see this game isn't how it should be, and you just start again? Yeah, no, he deserves his fate. Okay. Opening Opera on the laptop again so I can actually see chat. But yeah, I wouldn't start again. I would never play that game again. I would get the hammer and smash it into a billion pieces. Upon getting back to the title screen and starting again, I noticed my save file was no longer there. Instead of Link, it was replaced with your turn. Your turn had 3 hearts, 0 masks, and no items. Yeah, that's like a big red flag. Your turn. I selected your turn, and immediately when I did, I was returned to the clock tower rooftop, scene of my Link dead and the Skull Kid hovering over, with the Skull Kid's laugh looping again and again. I quickly hit the reset button, and when the game booted up again, there was one more file added below your turn, entitled Ben. Ben's save file is right back where it was before I deleted it, at the stone tower temple, with the moon almost crashing. I turned the game off at that point. Wow! Finally! After everything, you turn it off now? Yeah. Clever. Sorry, I am quickly just trying to get back into Twitch on the laptop. And I'm going to take a sip of my drink. I just want to open chat and see if there's anything. Come on. Please focus. I beg of you, laptop. Just for now. Please just humor me. Okay? Just humor me. Thank you for humoring me. There's a horror series called Channel Zero that uses stories from Creepypasta. Oh, cool. Is it on Twitch or YouTube or anywhere else? Because that sounds cool. Okay, we're back. Now it's a TV series on Shudder. Interesting. I wonder if I'll be able to find it somewhere else. Because I have a place where I watch like supernatural and stuff, and it's called Soap Today, the site that I use to watch supernatural. So I just want to close that. But yeah, I'll remember that. I want to check it out. That's interesting. Before I started this, sorry, I'll go on in a bit. Before I started this, I actually just went to go Google to see, can I do this? Like, I just want to make sure is it fine, is it good? But yeah, they at least told me all creepypastas are in the public domain, so they're free to use. Yay! But yeah, do you have like a favorite creepypasta or something? I don't think I'm gonna read this entire story. I wanna finish this part 1 and then I'm gonna search for something else. Because this one is very, very long. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, I turned the game off at that point. I'm not superstitious. Well, I only know the ones from the Channel series, but I really like the Candle Cove one. Interesting. Candle Cove. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Well, to be fair, my creepypasta knowledge goes from Slenderman, Ben over here, Eyeless Jack, and a few others like Mosky and Hetty. Anybody that's actually linked with Slenderman. That's my only knowledge of this. I just checked. Yeah, Candle Cove is on Creepypasta. I'm gonna search for it. I don't know how long it is. How long do they estimate this reading for that? Right, I'm not superstitious, but this is way too fucked up, even for me. You think? I haven't played it at all today. Hell, I didn't even get any sleep last night. 11 minutes. That's better than this because, yeesh. Just search for candle. Go. Okay, as soon as we're done here, I don't know how long this is gonna go on for. Last night, okay. I kept hearing the reverse song of healing, music playing in my head, and just remembering the sense of dread I felt exploring Clocktown. I drove back to the old man's house today to ask him for some questions with a buddy of mine. No way I was going there alone. This guy is starting to get smart for once. I need to find that there's a for sale sign in the front yard, and when I rang the door, no one was home. Sorry? So now I'm back here writing down the rest of my thoughts, and recording what happened. Sorry if some of this has grammatical errors and whatnot. I'm running on no sleep here. I'm terrified of this game, even more so now that I relived it a second time writing this all down. But I feel like there's still more to it than meets the eye, and there's something calling to me to investigate this further. I think Ben is something in this equation, but I know that, but I, but I don't know what. And if I could get a hold of the old man, then I would be able to find some answers. Just go up. There we go. I need another day or so to recuperate before tackling this game again. It's already taken a toll on my sanity. I feel like taking a toll of my sanity. I feel like sorry. But next time I do this, I'm going to be recording my footage all the way through. Just don't listen. Like, no lessons learned, absolutely nothing. No. Like, I don't think recording is gonna save your life. There we go, sorry. The idea to record only came to me towards the end. So you see the last few minutes of what I saw, including Skull Kid and the elegy statue, but it's on YouTube here. I'm going to stay in this thread for a little while longer before I fall asleep to answer any questions you guys might have, or hopefully listen to your ideas or theories to help me shed some light into this, or maybe things I should try to do. I think I'm going to play Ben's file tomorrow to see what happens. I think that's a terrible idea. Maybe I was supposed to do that all along. No, I don't believe in paranormal shit. But this is a little fucked up. But maybe this Ben guy is just a really good hacker slash programmer. I don't want to think about the alternatives if he isn't. Sorry. That's the end of the copy paste. I'm hoping that maybe this is some kind of running gag that the developers had, and that other people had gotten gag or hacked copies of the game like this This just really scares me. Interesting. I don't think we're gonna continue. Just because it's so bloody long. But this is interesting. I want to actually go read this myself at the end. But yeah, that's cool. There we go. Right, what was that? Hello, Cove. I go up. Shut it. Creepypasta Stories. Category of I have no idea what category it is. So you tell me, what do I type in? Where, what, when, why? Ah! Okay. No, I don't think we search here. This one. This one. I want to search. Where do I search? Shut it. I only know its name. It's okay. It's okay. I will find it. Or should I say I'm trying to find it? Dude, these ads. They're starting to annoy me. Okay, famous creepypasta. Let's go for that. And then sort by A to Z. Because then it would pop up easier. Voila! You can search it by no. There's no search option. It's weird. But I found it. Okay. Let's read Candle Cove. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. This makes me so thirsty. The TV version is much longer, of course. Yeah, because they're able to actually stretch it and get more stuff in. Sorry, I'm itchy. I have to admit, I prefer reading stuff like this. Yeah, I'm an imaginative person. I can see things, but reading is reading. Watching a story and reading a story is like two different things. So I usually don't really watch a lot of scary things, other than if Markiplier plays a horror game, and that's the only time I actually watch scary things. Here they say reading time 8 minutes and there's like 11 minutes. Hey? You have to choose which one it is. Okay. It comes most often at night. That niggling memory gnawing in some corner of your mind like a rodent chewing the corners of the drywall. The memory of some brightly lit cartoon funland or a world of puppets. A memory of a TV show you would watch, seated cross-legged in the living room floor, sorry, give me a minute. Okay, I'm ready for it again. A memory of a TV show you would watch, seated cross-legged on the living room floor, with the fixed, enthusiastic attention only a child can give. Attention that you wish now you perhaps hadn't given so freely. For there is something about that show, something about the discordant music, the details of the characters, the motivation, and the storylines, the fixed maniacal grins that seems, looking back, to be altogether too sinister to be a children's tale. You try to block the memory out, and yet, there in the back of your mind, most often at night, the puppet's fixed grin keeps on smiling. Puppets, I don't like those. But that's interesting. Yeah, I can see how they can actually stretch that into a TV show full of a puppet and everything. Like, yeah, so I can see how that could be creepy. I'm not really one for puppets. Puppets are fine. Puppets are fine. Not the creepy kind, but normal puppets are fine. And what I also don't like is porcelain dolls. I had one. That thing is, I hate it. We threw it away. But it came from like my. Do you watch much horror? No, not really. The only time I really watch scary things is when Markiplier plays horror games. But I don't really go out and watch horror movies or anything. Other than Supernatural. Supernatural is the only thing I actually watch. And even then, it's pretty much all I watch. Really? You say you really like horror? Like, okay, so you're enjoying this a lot. I am getting freaked out by stories. You're enjoying this a lot. And not much scares me. A lot of things scares me. I jump very quickly. I really hate these ads. Okay, I forgot. Copy. Sorry if I go quiet. This ad that keeps playing is starting to bug me. This one I saw earlier, it actually caught my eye. Go away, ads. I just want to see how long this is. Estimated reading time 19 minutes. Okay, yeah, let's go for that. Clockwork, your time is up. This caught my attention the moment I I saw it. So yeah, I really want to read this. Let me. Okay. But yeah, what I want to say, a lot scares me. Like I'm getting better at it, but a lot still scares me. A little girl sat in a room. Her messy brown hair was put into little pigtails, as her hazel eyes stared at the door. She hugged her stuffed giraffe close to her little body and listened closely to the yells of her father and mother. I should never have had any damned kids, screamed a loud, deep voice. All they do is make messes, complain, and draw on the walls. He was uninterrupted by the shrill, angry yell of the girl's mother. They're children, David. They don't know any better. Oh, fuck me, Maribeth. I really just don't like making voices, sorry. I don't want to hear your bullshit excuses. I've had just about enough of them. And what do you plan to do about it? The girl heard loud footsteps coming towards her room, and she hugged her giraffe closer. The door opened violently, and in the doorway stood her large, infuriated, overweight father. In one of his meaty hands, he held a large textbook. David, stop it, screamed her mother. But the father ignored his wife's pleading cries. He grabbed the little girl harshly by the collar, and she screamed and kicked, trembling in fear. The girl's father held up the textbook. This is for drawing on my fucking walls, you little bitch. Somebody please do something to that bloody man. Years later, the little girl, known as Natalie, was now 9 years old, going through the stage of puberty. She was naturally a little chubby. Like the usual, she sat in her room watching TV. Her dad was ranting on about some economic crap that she really could give less shit about, as she munched on some popcorn. She was also currently drawing a picture. There was a bit of gore on it, but strangely, she really liked drawing blood. It gave her some weird satisfaction. Other than that, multitasking was no problem for her. It became apparent to her at a young age, after having to do so much hard work and labor, that she was able to do so many things at once. Drawing ended up being her talent and passion. It was her way from escaping from reality. whenever something bad would rear its ugly head and peer in, or when she was simply bored. She suddenly heard the closing of her door and looked to the left, pausing or munching on her popcorn. There stood her brother Lucas, who was 14 years old. "What is it?" She could still hear her father yelling from outside the door. "Dad scaring you?" He let out a chuckle. "No way. I think we're both used to this yelling by now." There was a long pause. "So, why are you in here?" He played with his sleeves slightly and twitched a bit. "I have to ask you something." He trained his eyes on her. She frowned slightly, growing impatient with her brother interrupting her movie and drawing. "What?" He moved a little closer. "You said that you wanted to be cool and grown up, like a teenager, right?" She nodded, and suddenly brightened up slightly. "Well, I have an offer." "Just spit it out, you dimwit." You know what guys and girls do together sometimes, right? Eh? Please, no. Please don't tell me she did. No, no, no. I'm just scared to continue. You remember that? Sorry, I'm quickly reading as well. Ah! Sorry, I have to go now. No worries. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I hope it was fun. You did a great job reading them. I am glad you think so, because sometimes I'm worried. But I hope you have an awesome day. It is morning, right, for you? So I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks a billion for being here. Then, oh yeah. So yeah, I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you again. Take care. Where was I? See you later. I'm just gonna quickly read this in silence. I think I'm gonna for safety, right? Skip. If if you guys want to read it, I'm gonna also just link it. But my gut is telling me to not continue, and I listen to my gut. Not like the other guy that listens to his gut and buys the creepy game that's bound to kill him. No, I just listen to my gut. Ooh, Eyeless Jack. How long is the story of Jack? 6 minutes? Oh, that's not long. Oh, sure. Now that's an interesting picture to see. Okay, so it does have. I just wanna hide it. Why is the ad thingy not going away? Go away. Okay, just ignore that, I suppose. But yeah, that looks creepy. You wake alone in your room, disturbed by some noise close to you, bed. At first, when you open your eyes, all you see is darkness and black. You stare straight up and listen, straining your ears to pick up the faintest and smallest of sounds. The sounds of the edge of hearing, on the edge of hearing. The sounds of noise being withheld, of something deliberately trying to be silent, to stalk and to hunt. Your eyes begin to adjust. You still see only darkness, but now, with terror, you begin to realize it is not the darkness of the room, but the dark, empty void staring out from the hollow eye sockets of the thing leaning over your bed. Oh my head. Overview, appearance and origin story, influences, and the story. Okay, this is the Eyeless Jack story. Hello, my name is Mitch. I'm here to tell you guys about an experience I had. I don't know if it was paranormal or whatever stupid words people use to describe supernatural phenomena. But after that thing visited me, I believe in that paranormal trash now. A week after I moved in with my brother, Edwin, after my house was foreclosed, I finished unpacking. Edwin liked the idea of me moving in, since we had not seen each other for 10 years, so I was excited too. I soon fell asleep after I moved in. After that first week, I heard rustling noises coming from outside at about 1 in the morning. I thought it was a raccoon, so I ignored it and tried to fall asleep. The next morning, I told Edwin about it, and he agreed. The next night, however, I thought I heard my window opening and a loud thump, as if something entered my room. I darted up and looked around my room, but I saw nothing. The next morning, Edwin dropped his coffee cup when he saw me. He held up a nearby mirror, and I saw myself. I had a large gash in my left cheek. After I was rushed to the hospital, my doctor told me that I must have been sleepwalking. But then he showed me something that made My blood went cold. I lifted up my shirt to reveal a sewn up incision where my kidneys were. I stared into his eyes, mine widening. You somehow lost your left kidney last night, my doctor told me. We don't know how, though. Sorry, Mitch. You somehow lost your left kidney. We don't know how, but it's gone. Really? Really? The next night was my breaking point. Around midnight, I woke up to see a truly horrifying sight. I was staring face to face with a creature with a black hoodie and dark blue mask, with no nose or mouth, staring down at me. The thing that scared me the most was that it had no eyes, just empty black sockets. The creature also had some black substance dripping from its sockets. I grabbed a camera from the nearby mantel and took a picture. Immediately after taking the shot, the creature lunged at me and tried to claw open my chest to get to my lungs. I stopped it by kicking it in the face. As I ran out of my room, I grabbed my wallet. Really? That's the one thing you just do? You just run, grab a wallet? Like, okay. I would need the money. I ran out of my brother's house into the night. I eventually ended up in the woods. Really? You would run to the woods? I eventually ended up in the woods near Edwin's house and tripped on a rock. I fell unconscious and woke up in the hospital. My doctor, the same one who treated me before, entered the room. I have good news and bad news, Mitch, the doctor started. The good news is that you had minor injuries and your parents are going to pick you up. I sighed with relief. The bad news is that your brother has been killed by something. Sorry. Just sorry. Nothing else. Sorry. My parents took me back to Edwin's house to collect my remaining belongings, which I did. Upon entering my room, I was scared, but remained calm. I grabbed my camera and then stopped dead in my tracks. In the hallway leading to my room, I saw Edwin's body and something small lying next to it. I retrieved it up and entered my parents' car, not mentioning Edwin's corpse. I looked at the thing and I looked at the thing I had picked up and nearly vomited. I was holding my stolen half-eaten kidney with some black substance on it. Oh, damn. That is. Ugh. Okay, credits. Hey, we actually have credits for once. Credit goes to Azal 5000, aka Thunder/Joey. Publisher's note: the original Eyeless Jack story was inspired by a photo by Deviant art user NickTeasy408, which is featuring on this page. I think it's that top one, and which can be found here. I'm going to press on it now. That was interesting. Okay, I think I'm gonna read, sorry, one more. Sorry, I have hiccups again. I'm gonna read one more and then I'm gonna call it. I mean, we're already streaming for 2 hours. Herobrine! Sorry. I when it comes to creepypasta stuff, I'm a huge Herobrine fan. So yes, we're definitely ending off with Herobrine. It's estimated 2 minutes for reading. I don't care. We're so ending off with Herobrine. I just want to drink some of my Coke. Like I really enjoy reading Herobrine fanfics and everything. I love it. So sorry. Here I'm fangirling over a creepypasta entity that's capable of killing you. And I'm just here like, I'm a big fan. I like you. Let me clip that, please. Okay. I recently spawned a new world in single player Minecraft. Everything was normal at first, and I began chopping down trees and crafting a workbench. I noticed something move amongst the dense fog. I have a very slow computer, so I have to play with a tiny render distance. I thought it was a cow, so I pursued it, hoping to grab some hides. Yeah, sorry, hoping to grab some hides for armor. It wasn't a cow though. Looking back at me was another character with the default skin, but his eyes were empty. I saw no name pop up, and I double checked to make sure I wasn't in multiplayer mode. He didn't stay long. He looked at me and quickly ran into the fog. I pursued out of curiosity, but he was gone. I continued on with the game, not sure what to think. As I expanded the world, I saw things that seemed out of place for a random map generator to make. 2x2 tunnels in the rocks, small perfect pyramids made of sand in the ocean, and groves of trees with all their leaves cut off. I would constantly think I saw the other player in the deep fog, but I never got a better look at him. I tried increasing my render distance so far whenever I thought I saw him, but it was to no avail. I saved the map and went on the forums to see if anyone else had found the pseudo player. Sorry, there were none. I created my own topic telling of the man and asking if anyone had a similar experience. The post was deleted within 5 minutes. I tried again, and the topic was deleted even faster. I received a PM personal message. Okay, never mind. Sorry, my brain. Like we call them DMs now. Now it's PM. I received a personal message from username Herobrine containing one word: stop. When I went to look at Herobrine's profile, the page fell forward. I received an email from another forum user. He claimed the mods can read the forum user messages, so we were safer using email. The emailer claimed that he had seen the mystery player too, and had a small directory of other users who had seen him as well. The worlds were littered with obvious man-made features as well, and described their mystery player to have no pupils. About a month passed until I heard from my informant again. Some of the people who had encountered the mystery man had looked into the name Herobrine and found that name to be frequently used by a Swedish gamer. After some further information gathering, it was revealed to be the brother of Notch, the game's developer. I personally emailed Notch and asked him if he had a brother. It took him a while, but he emailed me back a very short message. I did, but he is no longer with us. Notch. I haven't seen the mystery man since our first encounter. I haven't noticed any changes to the world other than my own. I was able to press print screen when I first saw him. Here's the only evidence of his existence. Oh yeah, and then it's the photo with Herobrine in the distance. I like. Credit to Anonymous. Wait, this is cool. An upsized version of the image that figure is just barely visible. Interesting. But yeah, this is really, really cool. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. Copy. There we go. Okay, we're gonna go to the home again. Sorry, I just want to wait for this ad so I can pause it again. You know what? We're gonna open the Creepypasta image. Open image. There. This is how we end off. This was fun, creepy, interesting. I want to go and read the Ben story again want to finish it, but I'm gonna do that on my own. But yeah, this is really fun. So tomorrow it's Halloween. I'm gonna upload my Halloween drawing, and I'm also going to be streaming not late. I think it's 5 p.m. here. 5 p.m. GMT plus 2. That I'm gonna be streaming. I want to try and finish Bendy and the Ink Machine. I have no idea if I'm gonna be able to do that, and I have no idea if it's gonna get difficult, too difficult for me to play with my mouth. But we're gonna see. We're gonna try and see, and if I can, I can. If I can't, I can't. But yeah, this is gonna be it for now. I'm probably also going to not upload this video right now. So I just realized I am an idiot. Like, I'm not really telling anybody that anything. Sorry. I'm tired. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, you consider to give it a like, and if you want to see more of my future content, do consider to subscribe and to hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload my next video. If you want to see me live on Twitch, my Twitch link is in the description below. Do consider to follow me here. It would be great to have you. I always enjoy being able to chat with people and yeah, to make everybody day. What else do I want to say? Alright, the music we used in the beginning, we didn't end up using the entire video, but I am still linking it in the description as well, along with Mark van der Meulen's channel link. Everything of that will be in the description below. And yeah, all of these stories that we have read tonight will also be there. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope if you decide to come read more stories, that you will enjoy that as well. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I love you all so much. Oh wait, I'm doing it again. I keep forgetting I actually have stuff that I want to say, and then every single time I end up not doing it. I want to quickly just welcome my 2 new followers that I got today. We're on 17 now. We are reaching so close to 20. I am super excited. But Nami-chan and MisakiiNomaru, I truly appreciate the follow. Thanks both of you. It means the world to me, and I hope you enjoy my content. But yeah, that's it from me for now. I love you all so much. Take care, guys. Bye.